We look over here, and I'm sorry for hijacking your segment. We look over here to our OL Reign here, who I know we were talking about it last week. They were facing a 3-game road trip, a tough 3-game road trip to essentially head you into the final stretch of the regular season, and they came out of 9 total points possible. They came out with 9. I will admit I didn't fully expect it. I expected maybe a draw here or there, but they came and they took care of business. So
Yeah, they did.
September 20th at New York, New Jersey, Gotham, a 1-0 win. So they squeezed that one by. It was a close one. Player of the game forward, Megan Rapinoe. We talked about Megan, an 8.4 match rating, 1 goal, 2 chances created, and 3 total shots. This was off of a set piece. And Megan continues to be a really big contributor in these big moments and continues to help the Reign in a form. I don't know if we've seen it in her club career. This has really helped push this team, and it's just amazing contribution. Towards the end of the season. You know, I remember at the end of at some point last year, my uncle goes, I think Jess Fishlock's a little long in the tooth, meaning I think she's a little old. Jess Fishlock wins MVP. I know that you and I think, have had discussions. Maybe Megan retires since Sue's retired this year.
Look at her now.
And I think we've talked about it before, but I don't think Megan plans to retire this year. But we look over to the final game of 3 on the road. So the first 2 games, that the team played, North Carolina and Gotham, those teams they've got their talent, but they're not as good as Houston. Houston near the top of the table for a bit. Houston handing the Reign their first loss at home this year, late into the season. And so it's a good test. Houston was without their best player, Ebony Salmon, but still, it's a good club. It's a good test for you to round out the road trip. And the Reign won in a little bit of a surprising fashion, 2-0. Player of the game forward, Veronica Latsko, an 8.2 match rating, 1 goal, 3 total shots, 1 chance created. Latsko scores her first NWSL regular season goal. Yes, I believe it's regular season goal. I think it's 8th overall. A 2-0 win. Again, this was like, I did not expect you to win like that against Houston. Shut out Houston. And I don't know. I was just pretty taken aback because the Reign have had their struggles just putting away chances. They've had frustrating losses, frustrating ties. I mean, we look at their ties. They've got 7 on the year.
Yeah.
If they take away some of those or even make a couple of those losses ties, I mean, they'd have the 1 seed and they probably wouldn't have to worry about it and win the NWSL Shield. But so the Reign remain undefeated in their last 6 road games, outscoring their hosts 11-5 in those meetings. Finished that road trip with 3-game week with 9 points. The only team to accomplish that sort of feat this season. The match, it was weird because the Reign, they've got a lot of talent and they move it around. The starting 11 that you saw against Houston was the 20th different starting 11 in 21 games. So it's a lot of moving around. Bethany Balser scored the first goal in the 29th minute against Houston. Now 6, tied with Megan Rapinoe for the most on the team. But since entering the league in 2019, the year she won Rookie of the Year, the 25-year-old has 21 goals all time in the regular season, which is 2nd in the league. There's a lot of star power on this team. And I don't know if there's a better time to do it, but I talked about with ticket giveaways. We're not done with those 4 Mariners tickets. 2 tickets to this Saturday is the first, I believe, right?
Yes.
Saturday against the Orlando Pride. This is the final regular season game. The Reign had the chance to win the NWSL Shield, which is basically given to the team who has the most points at the end of the year. They've clinched a playoff berth with that win against Houston. They clinched a playoff berth, so they're making the playoffs no matter what. So they're the first team amongst the sort of 3 that we've been looking at over the past few weeks since the Storm were eliminated that have needed to clinch, Mariners, Sounders, Reign. and there's world-class talent in this team. I know when they had their press conference to announce that they were moving to Lewin Field, they said world-class talent at a world-class facility.
Yeah.
And it's been true the entire year. Megan Rapinoe, a lot of people know the Reign because of Megan Rapinoe. Megan's been living up to that. You know, you've got, we could go over the roster. We'd be here forever, though. But it's just been really impressive to watch this all take place.
And you can too.
Yes, you can too. Yes. Okay. Sorry. Let me go over it again. Let me recenter. So 2 tickets to the game on the 1st of October against the Orlando Pride. I'm going to make sure that's lower bowl, obviously, but there's some tickets in like the 3rd row. So I'm going to look at that. But yeah, so 2 tickets to the Reign game against the Orlando Pride on October 1st. It's the fan appreciation match, I believe, as well. With a 7:00 start. So if you don't want to go to the Mariners game, you don't care, the Reign play at 7:00 that night. Their traffic will be gone by then. Well, I know that, yeah, there was some traffic woes this past week, so I don't want to jinx anything. But no, I mean, Laura Harvey and the club itself have already encouraged people to get out and buy tickets to this game. They're not expensive. If you're worried about the tickets, they're not expensive. You can get tickets for as low as $20, which is pretty decent for the talent that you're watching on the field. And we'll be giving away 2 anyway. So again, just like with the Mariners, make sure you're following us. Instagram at CirclingSeattleSports, Twitter at CirclingSports, Facebook, or like Matt has just dropped it, Facebook, CirclingSeattleSports, to be able to see how that's all going to go down. But I'll probably just make sure you're following us, and we'll go from there. So yeah, that was a really impressive road trip. And so the Reign now sit at 2nd in the NWSL table. They were 1st after the win against Houston, but Portland won. So now they've jumped up to 1st. Point being is that the Reign can win the NWSL Shield, and that can become official, I believe, against Orlando. So again, they're making the playoffs regardless. You don't have to be on the edge of your seat on Saturday worrying about that. So that's, yes, it's very exciting. We look at injury reports against Gotham and Houston. They're the same. They're all the season-ending injury players. Angelina, Tobin Heath, Sinclair Miramontes, Jody Okekel, all season-ending injuries. So outside of those, relatively clean, which is good to see. On the 20th against Gotham, 2 players hit some milestones. Sofia Huerta hit 150 regular season appearances. So congratulations to Sofia on that. And then the same day, Quinn hit 50 regular season appearances. So congratulations to Quinn on that as well. We look over to a little bit of league-related news here on the 19th. The San Diego Wave thrashed the previous NWSL regular season attendance record. San Diego welcomes 32,000 people to their match against Angel City, the largest crowd in NWSL history, showing the strides that the league is making. So I've talked about it before, and I know that there's like the West Coast rivalry a little bit. They're an expansion team. You got to build a rivalry. But it's really exciting to just see what this does for the league, see these sort of crowds that they're drawing, and just how impressive that has been. So that's really cool to see, and hoping to see that sort of thing change throughout the league. So with team record and standings, the Reign sit at 10 wins, 4 losses, 7 draws on the year, 37 points. They have secured a playoff berth. They're 2nd in the NWSL table, 1 point behind Portland for 1st. Looking ahead, as mentioned several times, their next match is October 1st versus the Orlando Pride with a 7 p.m. start. I know it says 1. I hit the wrong button. I apologize. It's a 7 p.m. start against Orlando at Lumen Field. You've got the chance. 2 tickets we're going to give away for that, so you can be there in person.